Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our science lesson today. As you can see today, we're going to be learning to identify and compare common wild and garden plants. Now, identify, what does that mean? What could I be talking about there, identify? That's right, it means to recognise, to be able to look and be able to think in your brain, oh, that's what that's called. So you're recognising, you're identifying, and then we're going to compare some of the wild and garden plants. I've got two flags here. Why do you think I've got two flags here? That's right, we're going to be learning about plants from two different countries today. This flag is from the UAE. I know we sometimes say Ishi Baladi, but it's the UAE. And this flag is from, that's right, the UK, the United Kingdom. So let's have a look at some of our plants. So when we look at them, I'm going to have the name, I'm going to have a picture of them, and I'm also going to have the flag of the place so that you can look at it. So this is called, does anyone recognise this one? That's right, it's called a daisy. A daisy. Now daisies grow in gardens and fields all over the UK. They're a wild flower, but you can also grow them yourself. When we look at the flower, we can see this in the middle. What's this bit here? That's right, that's the pollen. The pollen. And then these things around the outside are called the petals, well remembered. And the bit that holds it up is the stalk or stem. Well done. That's remembering your science from 2 weeks ago. So this is a daisy flower. What colour are the petals that you can see? Excellent, they're white. Now who can describe the shape of the petals for me? That's right, look at them. They're long, they're thin, kind of oval based, aren't they? But if you look at the ends, they sometimes have jagged ends. So they're long and thin petals with a nice, what shape is the pollen in? That's right, it's kind of a circle, isn't it? Not a perfect circle, because all flowers are different. So that is a daisy. Now, something we get out in Dubai is a flower that looks like this. Now, this grows on trees, and it's called a frangipani plant, but it's also known as a plumeria. So we see these quite often. We see these white ones, and inside is a yellow centre. What can you tell me about the petals on this flower? That's right, they're kind of teardrop shaped, aren't they? They're not as long and thin as a daisy. They're still white like a daisy. And the yellow, we can't quite see what exactly the pollen is. It doesn't look like a circle this time, does it? It kind of fades into the flower. We can see over here. It's fading into the petal. So now we're going to have a look at a daisy and a frangipani flower. What can you see that's the same about them? What's the same? That's right, the colours are the same. We've got yellow pollen, yellow, white petals, white petals. What else is the same? Okay, what about what's different about them? What's different about these flowers? That's right, the obvious one is this petal shape, isn't it? These are long and thin. And these, you can see there's ridges on this one, whereas this one is flatter and wider. We can see, all right, there is some brown bits around the outside. Let's look at some more flowers. Now this is another flower that you might see in the UAE, and this is actually the national flower of the UAE. Did you know that we had one? Well, we do. And it is a Tribulus Omanese. A Tribulus Omanese. And they are very small yellow flowers. We can see on this zoomed in shot, this is what it looks like. These are the leaves that grow on the same plant. Here we can see we've got petals. This one has 5 petals, just like the plumeria. But this one has got almost a trumpet section in the middle, and then the pollen has come out on these antennae-like sticks. So this is a Tribulus Omanese. Now, a flower that you might find in the UK is a flower that looks like this, and this is called a dandelion. Now, these are also a wild plant. You can see they grow near rocks, they grow in fields, they have these big long leaves. They're kind of jagged looking. And when they're closed up, they look just like this. These two are just opening. And then when they fully open out, it will look like this. Now these ones are special. When they die off, all these yellow bits here turn into white. They turn white and you can blow them and they fly away. Sometimes called fairy plants. So we can see, just like the daisy, we've got lots and lots of long petals on here. What colour are they? That's right, they're yellow. They've still got a stem, they've still got leaves. Oh, here's a closed one here. That's what they look like when they're closed. And then the petals all fall down one by one until they fan out like this. Now, can you see the pollen on these? No, it's right down in the centre. And because the flower is yellow, we can't actually see it. Now, talk to the person next to you. What's the same about these two plants, these two flowers? What's the same? That's right, they're both yellow, but what's different? Excellent. I'm sure you all said about the petal shapes, the amount of petals. Look at how many petals this one's got. This one's only got 5 petals. You might also have talked about the trumpet and the pollen being different. They are all correct answers. Now, this is a flower that grows natively in the UK, but it can also grow here. We have roses here. Quite often you'll see them in shops cut, ready to sell them as bunches of flowers, but you also get them, they grow on bushes. Now, these flowers, when they have bushes, are very, very sharp thorns on the stems. So who can tell me about this flower, the rose? That's right, we've got the centre petals here, and they all fall out. So the petals fall out here, and it goes round and round in circles. It doesn't centre around the pollen and then comes out from the pollen. These are all the petals. They're all curled up together in a tight ball, and they slowly, one unwraps, then the next unwraps, then the next unwraps. So there's lots and lots of layers. Now this is a flower that we find here in Dubai, and this is a tropical hibiscus flower. So we can see there's 5 big petals around the outside. We can even see on these petals, they're so thin, we can see the veins. Now this is also it's a bit like their bloodstream. It's where the water comes into the petals. And it's where the sunlight hits the petals and it takes the sunlight back into the main part of the plant and down to the roots to feed the plant. So here we can see there's another stem coming out from the centre where the pollen is at the end here. So this pollen sticks out from the flower so the insects can get it a lot easier. You can't really get the pollen from a rose very easily. So what can you say that's the same about these two? What's the same? It's a trickier one. Well, what's same is they've both got petals, haven't they? Both got petals. They both come in different colours. But what's different is this one's only got 5 petals. This one's got lots of petals. But this one also has the pollen that sticks out. Here's another British flower. This flower is a poppy. So poppies grow out in the wild, but lots of people grow them themselves as well. They grow lots of them all together. They're not close to the ground normally, but we can see they've got big red petals and then black pollen in the middle, black seeds and black pollen. We can see here all the black bits in the middle. So they're a very different flower. They like to grow other flowers. You can see some dandelions here. Now these poppies are special to the UK because we use them as a symbol of remembrance. So you might see in November British people wearing a poppy, and that's to help them remember soldiers. And lots of places around the world wear them. So they're a special flower. But in the UAE we have Bougainvillea. And these are normally pink, dark pink, sometimes red, sometimes even white. I've heard there could be yellow ones. I've not seen any though. Now these ones you can't really see because there's so many of them I couldn't zoom in close enough without going blurry. But these grow on trees and bushes all together. Look at those, how many. Like the poppies grow together, but they're still quite spread out. These ones grow onto bushes, so they all grow together at the same time. Here is a zoomed in one. We can see that the pollen on these ones also sticks out on little antennae. And the petals are quite leaf-like in this one, quite leaf-like. But this one also, we can see the pollen also sticks out on little antennae. So that's the same about both of them. In the middle, it's got a trumpet. In here, it's got a trumpet as well. This one has big red petals. This one's only got 4 petals on a poppy. And this one's got 3. This one's got 4 petals. But the petals are quite leaf-shaped on this flower, the Bougainvillea. Now, this is a springtime flower for the UK. This is a daffodil. Daffodils have got a huge trumpet. Inside is their pollen. And then they have usually about 6 petals around the outside that look a bit like leaves as well. But there are petals. And here are the big, big, big shoots, their stems. A flower we get in Dubai is the desert rose. Now, these ones grow on plants that are a bit like bushes, not as leafy, but their trunks are white. And look at the beautiful flowers. They start curled up like this, and then when they're fully grown, they spread out, and that becomes the trumpet inside where the pollen is. And they usually have 5 petals. Now, these ones are special. They start white, but the tips have always been pink. You can get other colours as well, but these petals are 2 colours. All our other plants so far have only had 1 colour for their petals, but these ones actually have 2 colours. Where you can see the bit here, the body of the flower here, it's got 2 colours running through it as well. What can we say is different or similar about these two? They're kind of backwards from each other, aren't we? This one has a trumpet that sticks out with the petals at the bottom. This one has a kind of tunnel where the petals are found around the outside. So that makes them different. They're different colours. They both kind of have different shaped petals as well, don't they? What is similar though? Well, they've both got petals, they've both got pollen. This one's got a little bit of yellow, this one's got yellow. Trickier one, that one. Now, I have got a challenge for us. Where's it gone? This is part of a flower that we've looked at today. Can you tell which flower it is? This is zoomed right in. Do you think you can have a guess? What could this bit here be? Yeah, this bit's probably the pollen, isn't it? And look at the colours on it. Look at the colours around the outside. What do you think this could be? What flower? Right, keep your ideas. I'm going to zoom out. Ooh, look at it now. This almost looks like a trumpet part. And then we've got the pollen over here on all these, lots and lots of sticks of pollen. Here's the pollen part at the end that the insects will eat and collect. Has that changed your idea? Is it going to be a daffodil? Probably not, it's too much red. What red flowers did we see? Let's zoom out again. Ooh, is that a bigger clue for you? So we can still see the trumpet, we can still see all these bits of pollen. Think about the colour of the pollen we see and the colour of the petals. Can you remember the flower? Zoom out again. Oh, that's the whole flower. Now we can see 4 big red petals, a trumpet, black pollen. What was this flower called? Remember, it was a special one for the UK. Oh, there it is with some of its other flowers growing around it. It's very colourful, isn't it? Bright green and bright red. Let's zoom out again. There's a whole field of them. And there they are when they're all curled up before they've grown. These ones have got the trumpet left, but no petals left. Let's zoom out again. Look at this field of poppies. That's right, this flower was a poppy. So, well done if you've guessed that from our clues. I like this website. It gives us lots of guessing games like that. Now, today, you're going to have some different activities. Move myself over. So today, I want you to think about, these are the flowers we've looked at. Sort them into their countries. Which ones are British? Which ones are from the UAE? So again, you can just drag and drop these ones. They all drag. And then, afterwards, here are the flowers from the UK. Can you match up their names? Can you remember what they were called? One more time. This one was a daffodil. This one was a poppy. This one was, oh, we know this one, rose. This one was daisy. This one was a dandelion. And then you have the flowers from the UAE. We've got the Frangipani. We've got the Bougainvillea. We've got the tropical Omanese, or Tribulus Omanese. We've got the desert flower. And then we've got the tropical hibiscus as well. So again, these, you can just drag the names over. Oh, I've opened up my dictionary. You can drag the names over to sit with. Obviously, that's the wrong answer. We'll put it up here. This goes underneath your picture. Or you can go next to wherever you've got space. You can go on top, but I think they're going to be hidden behind. So that is your science lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed learning about flowers from the UK and the UAE. Have a go now at solving the mystery of naming and sorting these flowers. Have fun!